Hello, welcome to iDrawGirls.com. Today I'm going to talk about tip and technique on portrait, male, female, or how to get the likeness and things that you have to do when you consider when you draw portrait. And there are some tip and trick that I've found out over the year of drawing a bunch of portraits, and these three are the some of the portrait that I did in the last couple of days. I did probably a bunch of them. If you follow me on Facebook, then you probably see me post a bunch of portraits, and there's more coming. This girl is from Hero. I think her name is Claire. I never watched that show, but I just start watching on Netflix, and so I just kind of start drawing portrait. And this is Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, and I can't wait for season 2. And this is another character in Game of Thrones season 2. I forgot what her name was, but she was in Tudor. Anyways, let's get started. First thing I'm gonna talk about is drawing male and female portrait. As you can see, there's significant difference that you can notice. Like in general, there are some exceptions to the rule. There are female that look more masculine than some male, and there are some male that look more feminine, and so on. And in this one, in comic or close to realistic style, but it's still stylized. You usually on the male drawing on the face, it usually has more lines that are angular. Like if you notice like it's a straight shin line, square jaw. That's pretty much when you like drawing comics or design a character for the game. Usually the jawline are pretty square and have more angle. And then on a female, it's a little you can have a jawline, that kind of strong jawline too, but it's usually a little more rounded, and the chin is also a little more round up, not quite as angular as male counterpart. And that's the general consensus when you design a character for a game or a comic book. And this is and the neck also, the guys have like a pretty massive neck and muscle, and then the back of the neck. And female usually have we have a skinnier and more feminine look, so that it's have an appeal to the audience. And usually the eyes are a little rounder and kind of big. You can have like a smaller and sort of sultry eyes also, but it's still in general there. It's kind of there. How do you say it? It's an important part of the female when you draw the eyes that have it kind of big. And the guy usually like square, and there's a a bone that's coming off here. And then usually you have a pretty deep eye socket for the most part. And then as it go from like say race to race, region to region, facial feature is different, but in general you kind of like start off like this, and then facial feature change. And not much on the lips or nose. You can usually nose for the female, you can make it slimmer, and the guy you can have it like pretty slim to wide, but the female has like a smaller range of that you can make her look pretty. There's a range of prettiness that you can do. But for guys, you can make them whatever. It's as long as they look tough and rugged, then they'll be fine. And there are some of the sample also. And here's another example of a male design. It's a pretty high deep eye socket, sorry, and then cheekbone and everything. They're pretty square, and same as designing a black guy, just kind of similar thing. And they look pretty massive and like male-like, masculine. And here's another male design that took a softer approach, so you kind of reducing the jawline a little bit and eye socket and make him a little less angular and kind of round him up a little bit. And he still look like a dude, but it's more like on the softer side. Mostly Final Fantasy guy, design have male design like that. They look pretty, yeah, and not so rough or rugged like design of like Gears of War or some of the games. There's also another female face portrait design. They are pretty similar in you can change the eye a little bit, change the nose, and make it a different person or a different look for the female. But in general, they still the cheekbone and everything still look kind of softer than those Savage right here. Yeah, when you design a guy, or when I'm designing the guy male character, I usually think if depends on what the writer give me the description, and but I would think Savage or warrior like. And okay, let's move on to the other subject. We're gonna talk about likeness. And this one, the drawing of Claire Benet from Hero, and I'm not trying to make it look exactly like the photograph or the reference that I have. I'm trying to capture the likeness of her and make this painting look a little more in comic style. So the tip is usually, in general, I start off with just shape of a circle shape, and then adding the chin line, and then in general you have these two lines for the eye level, and so that the eye would be inside. And usually the eyes of general, like your skull or your face or your head, eyes usually line up in the middle of the head. As you can see, the distance from the eye to the top of the head, distance from it's around there somewhere. It's not exactly like in the middle, but it's some people have it higher, some people have lower, but it's in general it's like in the middle. And then I start drawing the eye inside the two horizontal line that cross, and then this vertical line usually I use it for like it's like a guideline, so that you can calculate or guesstimate the distance between each part of the face. And in general, like I said, the eyes is in the middle of the face, and the distance between the eyes approximately it's one eye. So just imagine there's three eyes, but it's can move. It can be a little wider, a little narrower. It depends on the people face, but in general, it's like if you measure in general, there's one eye apart from each other, and the nose is halfway in between the eyes and the chin, and the lips is somewhere. I mean the nose, I'm talking about the bottom of the nose or the tip of the nose, usually halfway. That's how I measure. And then the lips is kind of like in between, halfway also. Usually it can be higher than the halfway, but hardly ever lower, because you gotta have the space for your jaw or mandible. And then I just add some hair. And these lines are pretty useful when you the reason I draw is for a measurement of where exactly your eyebrows, the distance. Like when you look at the reference, trying not to think about drawing face, trying to think about shape, and how to get the shape all together, and making the shape exactly like the shape, and think of the distance between each element, instead of, hey, I'm drawing eye, hey, I'm drawing a nose or lips or things like that. And this is not like exactly look like a photograph. I'm just trying to tweak and make it so stylized that it sort of have the comic book look to it. So, but I'm using her face as a reference, so it's kind of get the resemblance. If you get everything within a distance and a shape of the nose, shape of the lips, and shape of the eyes, and look at a person, whatever feature that's stand out. I think her eyes and her eyebrows are pretty stand out, so I kind of make that sort of similar. And then the nose, you just have to get it accurate. So this one is more like a line drawn, you know, like if you're using a pencil and kind of draw and using a line to, and a little bit of shading to get, you know, the likeness and the portrait, more like caricature. Pretty similar, but it's not as exaggerated as a normal caricature. It's just comic stylized. And here's we're gonna talk about another one. This one is a drawing of I think it's Natalie Dormer, and she's gonna be in Game of Thrones season 2. So, and in this one I focus more on like getting the value and the edges of the brush stroke, and you know, so it's a pretty more accurate rather than stylized, and everything is kind of clean. So I'm just, you know, same thing when I start off. I start off using those guideline also, and then within this guide I'm trying to, you know, estimate like where the eyes and the eyebrows, and then where the nose and the lip would be, and then I got adding the hair and slowly, you know, building it up to, and then in final I kind of made up the top of the head, since the reference I got is crop, and then I chain around, I removed the necklace and things like that. So yeah, it's not about adding detail. A lot of people think that the more detail you put in, it will get the likeness. It's about accuracy. A lot of time that I, when I'm painting or drawing a portrait, I spend a lot of time just looking and trying to correct, you know, where exactly the place of the shadow, the place of the placement of the nose, and placement of the eyes, and it's very, very crucial to, when you're trying to get the likeness, that all the part of the face has to be placed in the correct place. So measurement is really important. You have to the distance in between, you know, the eyes, her top of her eyelid, and her, you know, her eyebrows, and the distance between, you know, the side of her nose bridge. You know, like you just go from when you start off at one spot, and then just kind of go from there. Like if you start off with the eyes, and then just see I start this kind of mark up over here, that's measure the distance between, and then you just go from there to there and moving down there. But then this measurement line will help you line up where everything is. It's kind of a lot easier when you have some guide that kind of go. But yeah, like what I said, the placement of everything and the shape. That's why I'm saying don't think of it as you draw eyes or nose or eyebrows. Just think of it as shape, because everything's just shape. You know, different people have different shape of eyebrows or different shape of eyes, and so on. And you know, hair, they just shape. And when you draw hair or paint hair, you don't have to draw every single strand of hair. I just trying to simplify, and it looked just fine. Like this a flat black, and then I just add some hint of, you know, hair that floating around, just some hint of hair of light and everything, and then, you know, just get the correct shape and correct placement of everything. And then another important issue is edges. The edges between, you know, the light and the shadow. And then so these are soft edges that you see like it has like the smooth transition from light to dark, and these are hard edges, that you can see from the jawline separating from the neck, and these are also hard edges, the hair. And you look at the image and you're like, oh, it's good practice when you practice from either real life drawing or trying to practice from portrait to get the likeness. It's kind of fun. And you look at the shape and the transition between the light and the dark, and you're trying to get everything as accurate as you can. Just worry about the shape and the value. And first, like I usually say, get the drawing correct. And what I mean by that is get the drawing is the accuracy of distance between each part of whatever you draw. When you get this is the base basically, and if you get pretty close to whatever it has on the reference, then you can move on from there and get a pretty accurate final drawing. So first of all, correct drawing, that you get the placement of everything marked up correctly. And second, most important is value. Get the value correct, like that's pretty dark, and trying to get it as close as possible, or whatever the darkness of this, her eyes a little bit here and there. And the third one is edges. You get the edge right, and that's hard edges. And then this one has soft edges right here, the transition between. And then nose are something that is very, people think is hard, but it's hard in the beginning. But when you get used to it, you can't. You notice the edges of around the nose, like you have hard edges a little bit over here, and then a little bit over there, and then some highlight. The more you paint portrait, nose might seem to be really hard at first, but once you get used to it, it gets really easy. And the hard part seems to be the jaw, between the transition of the jaw, how to make the head not floating, because sometimes it's really hard to make the connection between the neck and the jawline, and the transition of the edge. Anyways, yeah, this one, and this is another portrait of Jon Snow. This one I intended to play around with brushes a lot, and this is what I start off with. See, I usually do that, and then I try to put the markup on just the hair, just kind of random, and then mark up on every place that to make it accurate, and then trying to get the value. And there, and same thing, just correct drawing, trying to find the right value, or as close as you can get, and then edges. And in this one, I play around a lot with texture brush and trying to get, as you can see, his hair is pretty complex. I'm trying to get the highlights, so it's pretty stylized, but it's kind of in between realistic and pretty impressionist. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. I hope this video is helpful, and well, have a great day. Don't forget to come visit the website. I have all this portrait and step by step. So, all right, bye bye.